What's going on, my good people, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another travel vlog with your one and only Mike the Universal Artist. This is just a brief walking tour of when I took a trip to Playa del Carmen, Mexico back in 2020. And I just want to show y'all some of the areas, some of the shops, and give y'all a little visual, so sit back and enjoy. Don't forget, before we get started, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's definitely free to do it. It grows my channel and I muchly greatly appreciate it. So come along, let's get started. Alright, so right now I'm headed to Quinta Avenida, or Fifth Avenue. It's somewhat like the Saks Fifth Avenue of Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I had found out about it by watching some vlogs before I had headed down. And before I do most of my vlogs, I like to just explore a little bit on Google Maps to kind of see what the area is like. Look at some travel vlogs to see what most people say about it, what's the most interesting parts, what's the places to go. That way I can equip myself and prepare myself before I head down. That way I know where I'm going, I know what I want to do, and it's all ready and set, so I don't have to do much questioning or figuring out once I get there. So we're walking through right now. Don't mind my beat up broken phone. I tore that phone up. And one other trip that I had took, I had ran over my phone, that very phone with a car before I even took that trip. I was so mad I had to buy a new phone before I went on my trip. And, you know, I had the money to do it, but I didn't want to have to do it because I was trying to use any money I had for the trip, but whatever, I had to do what I had to do. Fifth Avenue down there, or Quinta Avenida, it was about, maybe I'd say 3 blocks walking from the hotel where I was staying. I was staying at La Pasión Boutique Hotel in Munich. That was this hotel I stayed at while I was there, so it was just a few blocks from where this was, which I try to book any place that I stay at not far from the beach or not far from the shops and things where I want to explore, so that way I don't have to do too much traveling or pay money, especially when you're traveling like that. You want to be mindful about you know, getting in taxis and doing Lyft or Uber. Just be mindful of the cost and prices. I'll try to go over sometimes if you're not too sure, and if you're in foreign countries and don't speak the language, it makes it even harder, so just be mindful. Alright, here we go. We're finally on Fifth Avenue. As you can see, it's a pretty open and big space. This was in no, I think this was actually in 2021. I'm sorry, y'all, I said 2020, but this is in 2021. Couldn't have been in 2020. And at this stage, people were a little more relaxed with wearing masks, but people were wearing masks. You had to wear a mask inside of stores and shops and things like that, but for the most part, people didn't wear them outside. And as you can see, as you walk down, there's a host of many different types of stores that you can watch or go into. As you can see, there's like restaurants, boutique shops, souvenir stores. There's, as you can see, the pharmacy. They got 7-Elevens up and down there. They got some of the clubs. One of them pretty prominent, Coco Bongo. But they have stores like Skechers, what was it? Like Aldo, H&M, and the basic shops where it's a little more cheaper, more or less, shops from the area. They had eateries, ice cream shops, all different types of things that you can go into. And like most places, they had hagglers outside that were, you know, trying to get you to buy things, but you didn't have to. It was just up to you. A lot of times it was mostly street performance, but don't be too concerned about people bothering you and haggling you too much. It's pretty low-key. There's Senior Frogs right here. So as you can see, there's a variety of different shops and places that you can go. The cost range isn't too much. You can, for, I'd say, like, if you want to go to somewhere quick and get like a sausage, a drink, and maybe some fries, it'll cost you, you know, no more than 20 pesos, which will be about $5 to $6 in American dollars. So you don't spend a whole lot of money. It may even be cheaper than that depending on where you go. But if you go to a typical restaurant, a typical plate at a restaurant will cost you, if you got a full meal, will cost you about $8 American, but maybe about 30 to 50 pesos. So it's pretty inexpensive. Now you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. There are plenty of places where you can exchange your currency. There are plenty of banks up and down that shop, but you do want to get to the bank before it gets too late in the day. They do take American dollars, but you typically get pesos and change, so be mindful of that. If you give them American dollars, they will not give you dollars back, but you can exchange at all times. The currency is not too bad either. And typically, if you have like a Franklin Mint or most banks at your hometown, if you bring pesos back home, if you get to exchange, you can exchange them once you get back to the Americas, which is where I live. But it was pretty low key, music playing, nice low key environment. I couldn't play too much music because of copyright. It wasn't too busy. I went on a weekend. I went from a Friday to a Monday, and it was pretty chill. It does get busy at times. It gets busier at night depending on what areas that you go to because of nightclubs. And they have typical ones like Coca Bongo. They have plenty of LGBTQIA friendly bars and restaurants and clubs and around the area. You just have to just watch where you're going as you're walking up and down. In terms of safety, I never really felt unsafe. There were times where I was like, oh gosh, they're really packing, you went to certain higher end stores or restaurants and they had the policia sitting out in front of these stores with full machine guns ready to go. So they do pretty good in terms of safety and protection. I didn't really encounter too much theft, thankfully. Hopefully I don't anymore, so you don't have to be too worrisome about that. Do be mindful at night. Try not to go out too late at night by yourself. I did, and I felt comfortable, but I knew where I was going, and I wasn't far from my hotel, so I was just right there and back, and I was moving pretty quickly, so it just depends on who you with and types of groups. But you can go to the clubs, and you're pretty cool. Pretty nice area. Typical temperatures were about, 88 to 90 degrees. Put on your sunscreen, you will need it. Fifth Avenue is about a block away from the actual beach. As you can see from here, you can just walk down that strip right to the beach. They have ferries where you can go to Cozumel. That would cost you about maybe 10 American dollars, but maybe 150 pesos, where you can take the ferry back and forth during the certain times of the day and spend a day there. They have plenty of activities, snorkeling, jet skiing, and things like that, depending on the climate of the water of the day. So you can do a lot. It's very family friendly. Do be mindful of children at night. It gets a little more salacious in terms of women dancing in front of certain clubs and bars, scantily clad, but other than that, it's a family friendly environment, very safe. They have spaces around where you can get your COVID testing while you're there before you come back home. It's a pretty great place to spend. Everyone is very friendly. This is a La Corazon, or the place of love, and it was very transparent that it was. Everyone was very friendly and in love, holding hands, and no judgment. So I'd say explore where you can. I hope you enjoyed everything. I really enjoyed my time. But don't forget, like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell. Alright, y'all. Enjoy.